Putin Breaking News. No one knows what will come of the Russian mercenary uprising. What has happened in Russia recently has surprised and even shocked the world. No one saw the private army employed by Russia's Wagner Group leave Ukraine and head toward Moscow coming until last month. The common perception is that Russian President Vladimir Putin is an absolute ruler. Perhaps he does, but his confidence was shaken by the Wagner Group's mutiny. It painted a very different picture of Putin than the one most Americans have. It indicated that he has genuine issues, the nature and severity of which are unclear. It will likely take some time for the event's true significance to emerge. Russian news reports have been sketchy and inconsistent. Putin's crackdown on the press and freedom of expression has left Russia without a credible news outlet. Westerners initially believed that the protests had a debilitating effect on Putin. The Ukrainian military, backed by the United States in response to Russia's invasion, should take heart from this development. Putin, however, might use the anarchy to his advantage by strengthening his hand and cracking down even more on his critics. Yevgeny Prigozhin, an oligarch who claims to have founded the Wagner Group in 2014, is at the center of the dispute. He started out as a caterer and restaurant owner, but through his connections with Putin, he was able to amass an empire that includes an estimated 25,000 private soldiers. Russia isn't the only country to employ private military contractors. According to the Navy Times, in 2016, private contractors made up 1/4 of all U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. However, the Wagner Group's prominence on the battlefield is noteworthy. The Ukrainian city of Bakhmut was captured with significant help from it. Syria, Libya, the Kar, and Mali have all seen fighting as well. Many Wagner soldiers are ex-convicts who fought their way out of jail by joining the ranks. Some have been charged with atrocities like murdering innocent bystanders, torturing them, raping them, and robbing them. Prigozhin publicly disputed the competence of Russian military authorities. His expectations that Putin would get rid of the top generals were dashed. Instead, the military demanded that he sign a contract and cut off his access to prisons as a recruiting ground. The 24th of June was the day his troops finally snapped, leaving Ukraine to seize a military headquarters in southern Russia and march on Moscow. Then, suddenly, they ceased. Following a whirlwind weekend of conflicting reports, Prigozhin was exiled to Russia's reliable ally of Belarus. According to the Washington Post, the Kremlin went into overdrive to present an image of calm. It's easy for Westerners to view as positive any change that appears to weaken Russian leadership. That isn't always the case. If Prigozhin were to regain power, all indications are that he would be just as lethal and unpredictable as Putin. The instability of the Russian government and military should be of greater concern. By far, the two most powerful nuclear nations are Russia and the United States. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, Russia possesses 6,000 nuclear warheads, 1,584 of which are active. They have sent some to Belarus. Concerns should be raised about anything that could make their control weaken. Putin has proven himself to be a cruel leader, intent on maintaining his position at any cost. It's unclear how he'd react if he thought his power was being challenged. A famous quote by Winston Churchill describes Russia as a riddle, wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma. These words were spoken by him in 1939. They apply just as much in modern times. Professor of Practice at the IU O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs and Distinguished Scholar at the IU Hamilton Lugar School of Global and International Studies, Lee Hamilton is also a senior advisor for the IU Center on Representative Government.